Alright, considering it for now, hovering. See whether it is going to be locked away. Certainly does give them that 4-1 option. So, the Fiora is locked in. Certainly something that we saw in our last game have a lot of success, but whether BrokenBlade can make this one work for a second time is going to be the big question.
And it will be Jankos' first ever Bel'Veth game in competitive play. And it will be the Swain mid and the Seraphine for Flakked. Targamas, really, really powerful, really, really good Senna in the LEC. Domestically, one of the best Sennas we have. So that's why it was such a staple pick for G2, because it neutralized bot lane to the point where Targamas could get a lot of souls, scale up to mid to late game, and roam around and help G2 while the Seraphine farms in isolation. So very, very strong carry top side for G2, specifically top jungle that they'll need to accelerate. But a very tough mid lane matchup to deal with, I think, for G2, because the LeBlanc's so mobile against the Bel'Veth Swain might be very hard to lock him down.
Yep, also feels like the amount of damage in the bottom lane early is not going to be too high. And so deokdam and Kellin with some opportunities to get some shove, and with mid lane priority, it's going to be pretty scary here for G2. And a lot is going to be on this man's shoulders here. Jankos on his Bel'Veth for the first time. Going to be pretty important. Not to mention the fact that BrokenBlade needs to be a threat in that side lane. We saw what can happen if a Fiora gets out of control against a tank. Something that she can definitely do. But we just want to remind everyone that you may have noticed that all of the Damwon players are actually off stage. They have enough players that have contracted COVID for none of them to be required on stage. So they are going to be in isolation the entire time and will not appear on stage today. So that's going to apply to their next matches as well.
But we are ready to jump into the game. Damwon are ready to play, G2 are ready to play. And one thing I was going to highlight actually is the fact that Nuguri is playing Sejuani, because he joined this roster in summer and everyone was like, the carry is back, the Camille extraordinaire is here. Sejuani is his most played this year, and in their finals in 2020, he played 3 games of Orange, so he's no stranger to these tank tops. The only problem is, I mean, you can see it already with the Ignite, he plays them a little bit too aggressively sometimes, so needs to be careful up here, Nuguri, if his team's focusing on this Lucian Nami lane, not to try to, you know, what I've seen, dive BrokenBlade or try to dive the enemy top lane. We'll see how much of a leash Nuguri is on to try to control himself, but BrokenBlade now hovering on this top side, Jankos behind him. I think they were considering some kind of top side late invade there, but Jankos will back off towards his red buff.
Yep, Nuguri actually invented the 0-2 power spike in 2020. He's definitely not afraid to go aggressive, even if it's a really bad idea.
Yep.
He's done it many, many times, and what he does is he creates a lot of pressure around the map. That was something that Damwon used to be able to utilize very effectively when they became world champions in 2020. And it took them a while to sort of figure out what Nuguri was going to do for the team now that they have deokdam, who's far more of a carry player towards that bottom side. Of course, it's kind of interesting that they're across the other side of a Senna, because Ghost was a phenomenal Senna player. That is not the MO of deokdam and Kellin.
Yeah, the style changed, of course. Ghost is also a fantastic Ziggs player along those lines, and things like this set up for Damwon where they could focus on this top side a bit more and have Nuguri on those carries. But Nuguri training aggressively onto BrokenBlade now, who's getting the better hand of those trades, and Canyon pathing up towards that top side, Jankos pathing down towards the bot lane. And of course the Sejuani Viego really good to have a melee jungler with the Sejuani to reset those E's, to get the stuns in, and the ward being down there will spot Canyon out. He's gone for Red Raptor's Grom, so he'll level up to 3 after this. Jankos has done the exact same thing, except Damwon do not have information on it.
Yep.
See what Canyon does though. Will be look very hard to lock down BrokenBlade, especially with the W with the riposte.
Just putting a lot of pressure on towards Nuguri here. Certainly something that you'd somewhat expect, as Cap's taking a bit of damage, but ShowMaker also taking a bit in return. We mentioned the importance of this mid lane. It certainly is there. Winter's Wrath not going to find BrokenBlade. The Fiora doing a great job pushing out on this top side. We have to remind everyone that G2 are fighting for not only themselves, but EG's hopes as well in this group. They require Damwon to go 0-3. They have to lose all of their games. If G2 are able to win here, they then rely on EG themselves.
It's a tag team really, isn't it, for G2 and the West. They'll take down that one first, EG will take them down second, and then hopefully JDG can clean it up. But that's a long step process, you know. G2 are the first in line to make this happen. It's going to be very, very hard though. Damwon look incredibly strong. Their game against JDG was very competitive, so despite that one loss, they are at here Yeah, they are here at Worlds to play, and a lot of people have them as the dark horse to win the whole championships. So Canyon now hovering around ShowMaker, looking for a kill onto Caps.
Yeah, the chains are going to land there as Vision of Empire just on top of Caps to deter anyone from sticking around underneath that turret. Just a lot of extra pressure. No Summoner spell is going to be blown on either side, so all is now calm once again on Summoner's Rift.
It is, and BrokenBlade there pushed in top wave, crashed it into the tower, took a base, ran back out towards top and saved his TP. Caps under a little bit of pressure here, so Targamas, this is what you do on the Senna. You move towards other lanes, help your jungler out, take the souls from the camps, help your solo lanes push out and take the souls there too. BrokenBlade will freeze this wave, which means Nuguri will have to TP back, but no, Nuguri stays and says, I'll push this one in. These are the kind of risks that Nuguri often tends to take.
Yep.
His jungler's on Krugs right now, opposite side of the map, and he's fighting BrokenBlade to try to crash the wave, so he might just die. We'll have to see what happens, but he's playing like his jungler's behind him.
Yeah. No, he was playing like his jungler was standing right next to him. As Jankos is now here, so it's the opposite of having his jungler. In fact, it's the enemy jungler that's here, and he's still here.
This is Nuguri in a nutshell, really, isn't it? Just still sticking around, doesn't want to base and TP yet. Maybe he wants a little bit more gold for his item, but he's going to walk back up here and take a couple more creeps. BrokenBlade has the W up and available. Canyon's basing, but G2 don't know that, and that's the information Nuguri's playing with. He's saying, maybe Canyon's behind me. I need to be careful here a little bit. Jankos deterred from a gank. Still, one ward will help him out. Caps yet to TP back. ShowMaker similarly. And Flakked has saved his TP still.
I like the bluff from DWG here, able to put on a bit more pressure than they would otherwise be able to. It's a bluff that's not necessarily actually real, because Nuguri's going to play the same way no matter what.
Yes.
But it is still, I guess, theoretically a bluff. The goal going to be completely even, as now we're looking for a first blood. 2v2 in the mid lane. Jankos going to zigzag, and then zigzag again. Get himself out.
Canyon came out of base there, has the Sheen and the longsword, but Jankos deters the gank as well. He's going to base. Nuguri will finally crash this top wave after having TP'd back. Very slow game from both sides. I think both teams are pretty happy with it. The Lucian Nami needs one item spike. Nuguri needs level 6 if he ever wants to have kill pressure in this lane. And ShowMaker will always try to threaten mid with Canyon. On the opposite side for G2, Senna Seraphine always likes to scale. Swain similarly wants to get towards more of a defensive item like the Merc Threads, so he's a little safer in this lane, and BrokenBlade will win out in isolation the longer this game goes on. Team fights will be very interesting though. See how they play out. Damwon have a somewhat front to back, but with a LeBlanc, Viego, who are very flank skirmish heavy and focused on resets, and G2 are almost like this death ball with the wildcard factor of the Fiora. Nuguri's going to miss the charge there.
Yeah. Tidies up the mini wave quite nicely, and yeah, I'm glad that you talk about, you know, the scaling aspect. Both of these comps certainly okay with the late game, but I imagine that if it was infinite time into this game, G2 have a heck of a lot of scaling as we get to, you know, 6 items and things like that. Damwon definitely wanting to play around this mid game, that I think it's going to be on Caps to try and deny as this game goes on. Of course, 2 items, 1 item on the Swain certainly can be very, very powerful.
Yeah, Damwon's mid game stronger, G2's full late game is stronger. We're looking for BrokenBlade here, see if he goes for the E. The W won't come out, and trading in bot.
Yeah, fantastic. Bubble is going to connect there as Targamas just going to walk it out. And deokdam and Kellin not able to get any kills, but are at least putting on a fair bit of pressure. Also, keeping this wave underneath the turret, wanting to get their first plate if they can.
Mid and bot will always be the pressure point for Damwon, and they'll always be the lanes that they can get kill pressure in. If BrokenBlade goes up towards this, if Canyon goes up towards his top side and tries to shut down BrokenBlade, then Jankos can secure Drakes when not having bot push or mid push, and that's not what Canyon wants. He wants to secure these neutral objectives and then play towards top side on the Herald spawn. We'll see how Damwon fight around that Herald, because Dragon's up, they have the bot push, they could start this Dragon right now if they want to crash this wave, but they could also try to crash the wave together and then base and move to that top side. So it's on Damwon to make the first move and G2 to respond.
See what is going to happen here. 100 gold separates these two teams, just looking for our first neutral objective. Canyon's just going to walk on over and start stabbing it. And as you can see, Jankos in the area of the Herald. And you mentioned the fact that Damwon Kia have 2 pressure points in bot and mid lane. It'd be great if you could tell Nuguri that, because he is still trying to fight against BrokenBlade. Grand Challenge does come out. The Ignite comes through as well, as Jankos is going to zig and zag and try and find his way in here. Does manage to throw Nuguri up towards the sky. Is this going to work out? Is the question. Is BrokenBlade's going to be taken down? It's a 1-for-1 in the top lane. First blood goes over to BrokenBlade, but they managed to get the Drake on the other side.
So much damage coming out of that tower. Canyon's base will get stopped there. Jankos cannot do the Herald Caps.
Oh, he's in trouble. He's going to get rooted, but Not going to have enough damage to follow this one up. ShowMaker just going to let him live for now.
Has the heal on the spellbook as well, so was safe regardless. Damwon keeping these bot waves pushed in, and G2 wanted to get that top dive going, but BrokenBlade had to crash the wave by using his ult initially. Dashed forwards, gets ignited, and he gets pushed out. Jankos had to drop the tower aggro, so BrokenBlade falls victim to the death after getting the final auto attack in. So Jankos gets the knock up, gets an auto in, I think, and then pops the E straight away. Tries to negate a lot of the damage, but he drops the E very, very quickly, and then BrokenBlade has to finish him off as Jankos tanks the tower max range. Now we've got a Herald start here from the side of Damwon. We'll keep an eye on their bot lane here, because deokdam and Kellin are moving up this river. Flakked just TP'd bot as well, so I think G2 have to give this one up, but they're on this top side of the map.
Yep, Targamas is going to be rotating over here as well. Does have Jankos in tow, as now Caps could be in trouble. deokdam does get the double tap, but the Mnemonic Ascension is going to be in there. It's not enough though, as Kellin locks down that kill. Now G2 looking to get underneath their outer turret in the mid lane. This should give Damwon enough control to go back towards this Rift Herald that was actually already secured there by Canyon. So actually did more damage than I expected in a shorter period of time.
Yeah. Herald and a kill. There's the W to BrokenBlade. Nice sidestep from Nuguri. Herald and a kill over to Damwon. Great play. Their bot lane moves up towards mid, and they're just there to stop G2 from being able to contest. But Caps overstepping. Maybe thought he was a little bit safer than he initially was, because Jankos and Targamas were around, but they were a little bit far away in that topside river and weren't able to collapse in time to save him. Had the heal too, but Damwon have enough damage to get the kill. Cap still has the flash though. BrokenBlade trading really hard up in this top side. Might look for a kill here onto Nuguri.
Yeah, Battle Pig continuing to get some work done as he had to fade away Glacial Prison just to make sure that Fiora gets the message.
ShowMaker was...
Go home.
Yeah, ShowMaker was hovering up towards that top side after mid-wave, so BrokenBlade did not want to chase. So let's take stock. Both neutral objectives over to Damwon. Pressure in mid and bot still there. Small lead for BrokenBlade, but Nuguri's been able to negate a lot of the pressure by trading in these one-for-ones. Next play for Damwon is where they use this Herald, and Jankos looks like he wants to build towards that Blade of the Rune King as quick as possible. That'll be the spike for the Bel'Veth, and it's just going to be mid-bot focus all game long for Damwon.
Yeah.
G2 look like they're going to match it.
It's feeling a little bit like it's going the way that G2 want it to though, right? Because it's still underneath a 1,000 gold lead, and we're just trying to get towards that late game. 4-1 and potential team fighting to try and get them across the line. If they can stack the Drakes, definitely scary. Is now a bit of an attack towards that bottom side. deokdam very far up as Targamas slinks into the mist. Vision of Empire doesn't find Kellin. He throws down the heal just to get them out. And now the rest of the cavalry have arrived. ShowMaker trying to dash after Caps there, puts him on the leash, and he is going to get rooted down, but not going to be able to get any kills onto the Swain. Here is running so fast. Demonically ascends here as deokdam is their target. Can he actually get it though is the question. There is the flash away from the Nevermove as Canyon gets knocked up, but not going to get taken down. And now Damwon, is it their turn to try and go on the offensive? ShowMaker throws down another chain, connects it, but it's broken immediately. Caps now just trying to get back towards this mid lane as ShowMaker distorts, but defensively, no one dies.
Nobody dies in that exchange. It looked like deokdam was going to fall, but he flashes away. The turn onto Caps was very close, but incredibly tanky. Merktrex giant spell on his first buys. And yeah, that was all coming from a lane gank. G2 never really locked down the bot lane of Damwon. They dodged basically every spell, and Flakked was holding on to that Seraphine ultimate because deokdam has the cleanse. Nuguri looking for a plate here, and he's gonna get it. So actually getting the better hand of BrokenBlade right now. BrokenBlade really needs that Divine Sunder and start fighting back. Caps will push out mid. They'll probably take a base here and TP back, but Damwon aren't done on this bot side. Canyon's getting the wave in. Looks like they want to drop the Herald.
Yeah, Canyon, it was yeah, decent time there, so needed to make sure that he got rid of it as soon as possible. So 3 plates going to be picked up here in this particular push. Damwon going to be very happy about it. Kellin also getting a bit of money for himself as well.
So Jankos will go up towards his top side and take the red. I think he's just waiting for the Blade of the Ruined King. This play was basically inevitable from Damwon the second they picked up the buff. And just what I want to highlight here is looking at ShowMaker's build with the TP and the Lucidity boots. I think a lot of pressure. Hang on a second.
Is that going to kill it? Kill? There it is. Okay, BrokenBlade, you can't riposte and ignite, and that is just a solo kill from the pig.
Well, that's a counter pick top into a first pick Sejuani, and Nuguri is now solo killed. BrokenBlade will get another plate in this matchup. We'll get another wave in. We'll be ahead in experience. We'll team fight better. So this side lane's just falling apart for G2.
Yeah, that's a battle ball right there. Wasn't expecting it. Now BrokenBlade in a real rough spot. Like you say, 2-1-0 now for Nuguri.
he's only going to get stronger, Nuguri, in team fights. His job was just to weather the storm and try to go even as best as he can. Trades 1 for 1 in the dive, gets a solo kill, and now he's got his mythic already. BrokenBlade has the Divine Sunderer, but this is the second dragon that's spawning. No TPs on either top laner. BrokenBlade TPs back to the top lane to push out. It's a 4v4 again, 4v4 stare down for both of these teams. No mythics completed on the side of G2's 4v4, but deokdam has the Gale Force and the Serrated Dirk, and a lot of pressures on deokdam to carry through on this game. Canyon's on a carry, yes, and we'll look for resets, but Nuguri and ShowMaker are more so setups this game, but that bubble's beautiful.
Bubble is going to connect. The tidal wave follows through it. Canyon is going to lock down that kill. Can he find more is going to be the question. Heartbreaker to get himself out as ShowMaker dives forward, and G2 not going to be able to contest this Drake now.
Great setup there by Kellin. Really, really good bubble across the wall into the tidal wave. Easy follow-up for deokdam's culling. And that's another kill over to Damwon. That's another dragon over to Damwon. And that might be a bot tower over to Damwon. Everything going in their favor.
Yeah, this has all of a sudden become a very difficult game for G2, and it felt like the early game was relatively close. There were a lot of trades that were quite even, but ever since, you know, that mid lane play with the Herald, it's been Damwon, Damwon, Damwon. And another ulti to come through from Nuguri. Very happy to press as many buttons as he would like.
Yeah, and the pressure point of the map was this top side, but it's just fallen apart since the solo kill. Jankos is around, but I don't know if they can even get Nuguri down on a kill here. He's actually playing with respect. Nuguri in the LCK would be jumping on top of that Fiora looking for a kill on his Ignite coming up, but he's actually playing quite far back, waiting for his team to come out of base. But the Ignite's now back up. He has a lot of kill pressure onto this Fiora if he can get the riposte.
Yeah. He doesn't have ult though, so not ready to go for the solo kill yet again. And I wasn't actually expecting him to play with that much respect. He does have a control ward in that bottom brush, and he's normally pushing the enemy turret, you know, no matter what, without any vision. As we're going to check this one out one more time, the double bubble, just beautiful.
Yeah, just beautiful. Into the tidal wave, into the cutting, into the Viego. He's down, and you can see on the picture on the bottom right. That's a tower for Nuguri. In the 1v1 isolated, he's going to pick that one up, and with the top push, Damwon feel confident enough to start up this Herald. They have the mid push from deokdam as well. ShowMaker are going to dash forwards here.
Oh, Targamas in a lot of trouble, as that's a good knock up there from Jankos. Gets the flash out of ShowMaker as well. Tidal wave is good. Encore doesn't find the mark, and in the meantime, Canyon is just going to stick on that Rift Herald. They go for it, try to make the play, but don't quite get there.
ShowMaker invests the flash. deokdam gonna dash in here.
Good exhaust is going to come through. Caps throws that one out. Now Damwon looking for a bit of a siege. They have the Rift Herald here as well. Shirley's going to come down and try and knock down that turret. Now teleport does come through, and Nuguri's going to turn up as well. And now Damwon just going to brute force this outer turret. Can they get another charge is going to be the question. Good knock up onto deokdam as they do manage to get the charge. Oh, the Glacial Prison's fantastic at the same time, but with deokdam being CC'd, they're not able to actually follow through.
You can see the power of Damwon's 5v5. Just lock down one target. The LeBlanc and Lucian can follow up so quickly with their single target damage to get that target down. They're not actually done here. Jankos and Caps have based. It's a 5 versus 2 under this tower. Damwon will pick it up, and I think they'll be able to get out as well. No TPs for G2 to force the play. No real hard engage either. Their best form of engage is just Caps running forward with a Seraphine and a Senna ult on top of him. So Damwon gets so many objectives, 4 towers to 0. BrokenBlade will push in top, but Nuguri's just in time to catch the wave.
Yep, full health going to walk on over there. He's absolutely fine. ShowMaker also paying a visit to Caps. Does connect a lot of chains, but fair bit of tankiness here on the side of the Swain. BrokenBlade gets the turret, but will he be able to get out is the question. Dawning Shadow flies through. There's the flash out for BrokenBlade. Now trying to find these weak points as well. Gets the heal. He's just chilling on the outside edge, but it's just not going to be enough. Nuguri picks up the kill in the end, and he also has an ulti available to lock down Flakked. Canyon grabs that kill, and now ShowMaker's here. Knockup comes through onto Jankos. He's not able to return the favor himself, as Canyon playing a pretty good Seraphine here, as he locks down the kill on the Bel'Veth, and deokdam gets the kill.
Damwon collapsed too quickly. G2, BrokenBlade wanted to get that top tier 1, and Flakked thought they could look for the turn in the 2v2 with his teleport. BrokenBlade gets the vitals and the ultimate off, but the healing just wasn't enough, and in comes ShowMaker, in comes Canyon, and Kellin's tidal wave was fantastic to knock up Jankos. Doesn't have the evolved form, so he can't jump over the walls, and Damwon pick up easy kills. Objective bounty over to G2 this early on, that's what he was focusing on, but Canyon on the collapse, and just watch mid lane here. deokdam and Kellin pushing the wave, they then move up, and the Senna ult keeps BrokenBlade alive for a little bit longer, so he can proc these ultimate charges. manages to get a little bit of healing, but Nuguri just instantly gets that kill.
Yeah, it was pretty close. I dared to believe for a moment there that ultimately just wasn't quite enough. And just always being able to have that first move on the side of Damwon. It's not enough here.
Yeah. And now Damwon with this big gold lead, 7-1 in kill score, gonna push into this bot side, secure their third dragons, put them on soul point. And we'll say it again, if G2 lose, they're out of the World Championship. They'll still have another game left to play, but it won't actually mean anything, and this will also mean that EG is out. So Damwon and JDG will be our teams going through, and they'll be playing last at the end of the day. As Damwon pushing in bot here, looking for this bot 0-2. deokdam pushing in mid, will rotate across. Capsule catches midwave, has the TP if he wants to join his team. BrokenBlade.
Yeah, he is just going to get chain CC'd here. Finally gets the riposte off. But a lot of just random AoE damage being thrown down here. It's very difficult to stick around underneath his turret, especially with ShowMaker available. Encore is still there, but it's just very, very hard here for G2. We mentioned the power of Damwon Kia in this mid-game. Well, that has only increased now that that mid-inner turret fell down. It's exactly what Damwon needed to be able to put the screws in on this game, and they are definitely not letting up.
Mid-game is so strong for their comp. Lucian, Nami on 2 items. The Viego at level 11, the Sejuani frontline who actually won the lane. Damwon are just outclassing G2 right now. And they're going to pick up that dragon that just spawned. Bot waves are coming in. They're slowly chipping down this tower, and G2 really want to defend it.
Oh dear, Cap's going to get caught out. There's a tidal wave. The bubble is going to follow up as well. He does manage to go golden. As deokdam needs to use the heal to get himself out. ShowMaker waiting to strike, waiting for his opportunity. In the meantime, I mean, Canyon just wasn't there, as well as Nuguri. Sort of 3 versus 4 as BrokenBlade holding down the fort in the mid lane.
Damwon have a lot of sustain with the Nami and the red buff on the Lucian. They're just going to keep pushing in these mid waves, going towards bot, keeping up the 4-1. BrokenBlade tried to break their setup there by proxying up that mid wave in front of Damwon, but they won't allow him to do that. Canyon will be the one split pushing. I think the Sejuani is stronger in the group because of the hard engage. If Flakked walks up here, he'll get hit by a Sejuani. Oh.
Well, there it is. Not exactly going to find it as the Encore also goes wide. Damwon Kia just using that as a zoning ult. The inner turret falls down now. But ShowMaker going to have to try and get out of here. BrokenBlade doesn't get the riposte. Not out of the woods just yet, though, as ShowMaker finally distorts to get himself out. Jankos very, very close to death as Canyon finds himself the backline. Can he get the reset, though? Is the question. The answer is absolutely not. But still, it is so much damage from Damwon Kia. They are so far ahead, and Caps just couldn't do enough. Bel'Veth also going to fall down as now BrokenBlade just trying to lunge his way out of this. It's not going to be enough. The chase potential just too high from Damwon Kia. And riposte comes in. ShowMaker says he doesn't mind.
4 for 1 for Damwon. Canyon tried to get the kill at the back end of the fight, manages to get it, but doesn't get the reset. Damwon can't translate this into anything because they're on the wrong side of the map before the Baron start, but G2 have no chance in these fights whatsoever. Damwon just rolling over them right now, and I think when they come out of base, they'll start setting up this Baron. Flakked misses the Encore there as deokdam dashes away. ShowMaker almost dies here because BrokenBlade manages to proc a couple vitals, then W's onto Nuguri to get the stun. Caps and G2 just decide that this is the only fight that they can win. Canyon behind manages to kill Targamas, trades into a 1-for-1, but from this point onwards, Nuguri is just too tanky and deokdam is just too strong.
Yeah, just able to provide as much space as Damwon would like. I really like the Relentless Pursuit flash from deokdam to get rid of the priority targets.
Yep.
And lock this one down. Really does feel a little bit like dotting I's and crossing T's here for Damwon Kia as they push in the rest of these waves.
And this is a great sign for Damwon. deokdam being able to step up and just carry through games when they're replaying tanks. Gives him a couple more styles. Jankos.
He's just dead, I think. He is going to be able to mitigate a lot of that damage, but it's not enough. Tidal wave comes through. BrokenBlade doesn't have enough ripostes in him in order to keep himself alive, as it's a double kill picked up here for Canyon. Just transforming into every member of G2 right now. This inner turret gonna get taken. That is 6 turrets to 1 in favor of Damwon Kia, and they can just go back towards this Baron if they'd like, and I don't think there's going to be any answer, especially without Jankos on the map.
Yeah, this game is as good as done. Over a 10,000 gold lead, Baron secured, souls up in 2 minutes time. Now just touching on the styles that Damwon have shown us, they've shown Nuguri on champions like Kellin and Jay so far this Worlds, and seems to work. Now they're showing Nuguri on tanks, and deokdam being the one carrying through with ShowMaker on this LeBlanc. And they're gonna
Nuguri
take
on
everything.
the Sejuani, the early game and split push threat.
Yeah.
Sejuani.
I love it. He's 3 levels up right now against this Fiora, winning on side lane, winning the lane, winning in team fights. And there's an Infinity Edge picked up for deokdam, 60% crit coming through. G2, I mean, their comp is good at 50 minutes into the game, but Damon's mid game is just so much stronger, and they're just steamrolling over them, taking absolutely every tower, and their team fights are just so much better. And now they're just going to push in to look for the end. The safe option here for Damon is to turn towards a dragon in the next minute while they have the setup in the lanes, while they have the push, and G2 basically have one last fight as a Hail Mary. We're going to look at this top dive again. Jankos tried to step up to clear the wave, pops the E here to try to get a little bit of damage reduction to live through it, but Canyon gets the kill, gets the reset, turns into Bel'Veth, and Canyon's a pretty damn good Bel'Veth. Manages to take down a double kill and then gets another reset.
Yep, I believe his time spent in Bel'Veth form was actually quite low. Still looking pretty good. As Damon, yeah, just trying to keep G2 away from this Dragon Pit. But honestly, feels like they could just start sieging on this turret, especially with the Baron available. Yeah. ShowMaker dives forward. Oh my goodness, BrokenBlade just getting ripped to shreds. deokdam is so strong. Caps, not as tanky as he wants to be right now, but he is going to survive for the moment. Siege Minion going to be there. In the meantime, Canyon splitting in that mid lane as well. They will be able to take that down as well as the bot inhibitor and then move back towards this Drake if they would like to.
Looks like 30 seconds on the spawn. They want to play through mid. G2 think they found a pick onto Canyon, but all of Damon are ready to collapse. Nuguri is on the way. Doesn't have that ultimate, but deokdam.
Oh dear, Cap's just going to get exploded. It's the Lucian damage here. The riposte is decent, but he doesn't have it available for Flakked, and BrokenBlade now has it on cooldown, so he's just dead. A double kill now for deokdam. Lucian Nami today has just been absurd. And it's no different in the hands of Damon Kia. Jankos just looking for that top lane. And you could see it's just Targamas trying to escape. And in the meantime, Damon Kia just going to take down these Nexus turrets. What a ridiculous game here for the LCK representatives against G2. And unfortunately, we now have to wave goodbye to both G2 and EG as Damon Kia take down the Nexus.
Eastern domination is here at World. Damon take down G2 in just over 25 minutes, and G2 never really stood a chance from that early game snowball. Yeah, mid and bots winning, top 1 from the solo kill. And yeah, G2 have 1 game left to play, similar to EG. I think they have a game left to play as well, but that's it. The West is out of Group B, the West is out of Group A. It's Rogue and 100 Thieves left for the West. But right now, that's 4 teams from the East basically locked in the knockout stage.